Hey guys, it's me, and of course, sorry it took a little longer than I expected. I was having some problems with the sound system, and I don't know if everything's still working yet, but I don't see why it wouldn't be. I see good V meter swing here, as best I can tell. So we're gonna get ready. I'm just gonna get things started with getting the chats going. So let me get this set up right now. And let me just explain right now. I'm not really feeling the best, so physically. So I'm gonna do my best to soldier on for at least a little bit, and we'll see how everything goes. So bear with me, okay? Right now, we are connected through on T-Mobile like we usually are, and like I said, I'm not really feeling too well, so I'm gonna just try to soldier on. I would have canceled if I could have figured out how to tell people that I was gonna cancel the live stream, but I realized that if I cancel the live streams, is that some people probably would be a little bit upset with me, and I didn't want to get people upset. God knows I don't need that, right? Yeah. So, let me just get this set up here. There we go. So this is that. And let me just change this page over here, because otherwise this ends up breaking everything else. Let's see my picture here. Okay. So tonight's live stream, we covered a couple things in an earlier broadcast, and I think was a very good topic. I discussed what's going on with mental health. Okay, well, we're here anyway. So I see at least Ruben's on, me. Anybody else here? Anybody else on here right now? Alright, anyway, we'll talk with Ruben first, since I knew you eat soon. What is it about the fact is that mental health it seems like you talk about the Florida shooter, and it seems like a lot of liberals talk a lot about the gun issue, whereas I look at the situation as both more of a issue with mental health and mental health awareness, as obviously was what affected also with Sandy Hook and Atlanta as well, and that is that it seems that in both cases, talking to people on Facebook, they've said the same thing as me, that the mental health treatments are not really being promoted to those people. So let me make sure the sound's working here, because I didn't test the sound real quick. So let me just test this sound. Oh, okay, there it is. Yeah, that's what I know. Alright, so there, yes, I got sound. Okay, great. And I'm not getting top frames. That's even better. Okay, great. So we're all good. So, Ruben, my question for you, and let me turn on the chat here so we can see the questions, is why everybody likes to say that Adam Lanza and this guy Cruz, which we know have been disturbed and have been having a very hard time lately. Oh, let's just turn this on here. So, yeah, okay. So they have been disturbed lately. Obviously they arranged to shoot up a skull. Yeah, but the question is Dr. Bregan, as well as a few others in the mental health field, which are board-certified psychiatrists, have said, is that some of the psychotropic medications, especially when you try to change the medications, is when things go pear-shaped. And they said that there's evidence that in the case of the SSRIs, the serotonin reuptake inhibitors, does something really strange to the way the brain works. Hi people, peace, how you doing? Like I told Ruben, I'm not really feeling that well, so we're gonna try to get this live stream in fairly quick. So I want to keep it under an hour tonight. So we're going to do that. We're going to keep it under an hour tonight. And but we're talking about mental health. And it seems, I want to get back to that topic. As several people have said, it seems that the big pharma and the companies that produce these drugs are releasing, through fast tracking these drugs to the system, that is creating more damage than good. Well, that part I don't disagree with you at all. I mean, why would you need a semi-automatic assault rifle? I don't know. I really can't say. I couldn't even afford to buy one, even if I wanted to have one, which I don't like guns, but I respect people who do like guns. But I can't see why you would need a semi-automatic AR-15 at all. Fully automatic assault rifles are illegal in the United States, at least in most countries. But I'm going to tell you one thing is, I think what's going on is, let's talk about his mental capacity. I think that we need to focus on that more than the gun issue. Because I know that you and I, Ruben, have talked about my situation and my mental health and my treatments that you suggested. The first thing you suggested is pill popping. But I always strongly believe that that should be a last recourse after you do an fMRI to determine if there's a biological malady of the brain. But therapy, psychodynamic therapy, should be a first choice. But it seems that the insurance companies do not want to pay for therapists because one-on-one therapy costs money, and they always want to cut the lowest cost possible. They seem to have a very strong predisposition towards the use of the medical drugs, which unfortunately, if not properly administered and monitored, can be just is, or even more damaging than anything else. It says research in UK and US does not support the limited data. We don't know if these young men are being properly monitored and so on. Right, we don't know. We do not know. We do not have no clue. But the point is I know in the state of Connecticut, the mental health authorities in this state are under budget constraints. Staff is being cut left and right. Yeah, well, what Medicaid does. Unfortunately, Medicare may not pay the full price. But if you are on regular insurance, a lot of insurance programs may or may not cover psychotherapy or psychodynamic therapy. And that's where we get into these issues. Because I know that for me to get into psychotherapy again, I would have to pay out of my own pocket because we checked into Medicare Part A and Part B, and it does not pay for me to go see a therapist. I was involved with behavioral health center to deal with the depression. I get seasonal effect of this depression, and they told me that since I was put on the spend down for Medicaid, that I would have to pay out of my own pocket unless the Charlotte Hungerford, which runs the behavioral health center, would like to be able to put me on a grant to pay for that treatment. But since my therapist told me is that for the most part you're doing pretty good now, we really don't think we need to continue on with the therapy as much because you're doing pretty well. With you and Lumi together, you have seen a significant improvement in your treatment. But we understand as a community that sometimes people do have fugues, they have fucks, and they get into issues where they need to pay us a visit. But if you can't afford to pay for the doctor, that makes it hard. People say, okay, smoking marijuana helps with depression. Well, I know it does help with PTSD. Alright. Okay, I know what that is. Alright, guys. Testing. Testing. Alright. Jason is switching over to the other microphone. You mean alright, guys. I know what the problem is. I think. No. It's not that. Alright. Alright. Nope, that's not it. Still on it. Alright, guys. That's the problem. Hold on a minute, guys. I see what the problem is. It's the switch boxes over on the other computer. So I gotta figure out how to switch that around later on. I was having problems with that earlier today for the session. Alright, so anyway, we got some sound working. Now I hear it says words and that makes sense. Okay. Well, that was the cause. Is that the situation with these cheap Radio Shack switch boxes are constantly breaking down and they need to be replaced. And I did leave a message for Sweetwater, and I asked Alex Water if he could give me an update if he hasn't heard anything from Berger tomorrow, because he's obviously not in on Sunday. So hopefully we can find out when the mixer is going to be back here, because these cables are a whole bunch of adapters. It's all glued together with spit and chewing gum, and things are just, all kind of messed up. Alright, so where was I? Let's see, you were talking about mental health. Okay, yeah, the mental health. Well, like I said, in some states, mental health authorities are really not keeping up with the treatments for the patients because of the economics. Budgets are being cut in many states, and what that's doing is that means that a lot of patients are being pushed aside, and they're just doing the cheapest thing possible, creating things such as programs that are basically just used to keep the funding going, but don't really necessarily treat the issue. Oh, okay. Oh, right. Well, that's okay. Let me explain what that was about. Is Michele and her behavioral health therapists looked at Michelle's MGAF score. When Michele first got into the program, it was like 25, 26, and that was around 2003. By the time Michele moved to Winston, her score at the time was about 45, and that was after 2010 is when me and Michele worked together. Kathy Moran, as well as Hilary Speciale, which was an APRN, discussed between me and Michele about Michelle's treatment, and she says, Michele, you're doing a lot better now with Lumi's help than you were before, because we see your MGAF score has gone up quite a bit, which is amazing. It's okay. What's up with the cancer rates lately? Okay, we'll talk about that in a second, people, piece. Let me finish any questions that Ruben has, and then we'll talk about that. Because we can make a quick, simple tie-in between the two. In the case of either one, is some people are getting sick from environmental issues. course I watched that video. You think I just threw a video up there just because it had a good name on it? Yes, I watched that video from the School of Life. And how our homes reflect the way we see ourselves and the way we consider our homes to be a part of our extension of our personality. Yes, I did watch it. As far as people back in, in the 19th century, early 20th century, were dying from tuberculosis. We still do see tuberculosis today. But the question is could you really say it's because that they're not getting proper medical care or vaccinations, or is it that the home is a personal extension of one's personality? Yes, I believe it's true. Look at my apartment. It certainly is my personality in its own right. You got a lot of this old ancient stuff. You got what I call comfortable. It's a big 25-inch console television. I have my couch, my furnishing. And if you look at everything in my apartment, even though it's all secondhand, it's a part of me. It's just the way I live. Hand-me-downs and very simple, very old, I wouldn't say contemporary because it's not contemporary. But yes, I would say, based on what they said, it's exactly true. Yeah, but people peace, but I'm going to be honest when I say this, I really would like to try to focus on the main topic here, which has to do with mental health. But we could certainly talk about depopulation, but I don't know if I'm going to get too much into that right now. But that certainly could be a topic for next week, because it gets a lot more complicated than I want to get into. Yeah, that's one of the things that the EPA was created originally to regulate, which it seems that lately the EPA prior to Trump was more focused on global climate change than they were about the main task of making sure we have clean air and clean water. Or that's what Donald Trump wants them to focus on the main task. Well, not necessarily. I see it as a little differently, Ruben. I think what you're seeing is what you see in my home is the way I see myself through my furnishings. A very dated approach to furnishings. A little battered, a little worn out, a little beat up. I don't think it necessarily means it's necessarily bad. The depression is a circle, yes, but it's also a cycle. If you look at the way it works out, like a lot of people, I've had a hard life. I never really had it easy. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Don't let TNCC show to you that I never really had it easy. I never did. Okay, we'll talk about mental health. So it was pretty complicated. The comments take a minute to go through. Right, they do. But if you want to discuss people peace, and we could talk about this on Wednesday, it'd be great. One has to find a way to get out of it and heal and never go back. Well, sometimes it's easy to say that, because unfortunately when the real world comes down to it, it's not so simple. There's so many things that can cause people to fall or relapse, if you will. When the economies, when your personal economy, I'm not talking about the big economy, your own personal economy is doing great. It's easy to feel like you're doing great. But then when some major tragedy happens in your life, all of a sudden, all the things that you have succeeded at doing goes up in smoke. Sometimes quite literally. Is maybe you had a major tragedy, and maybe a house fire, like what happened in California, maybe the death of a loved one, a breakup, which I've had recently, and other things. It really can put some people back into that funk again. Well, Michele doesn't keep her home that bad. Disorganized? Michelle's home is sort of organized, but it's not really organized to like, the way some people would see it organized. But Michele knows where most everything is. Wait, you're talking about Martha Stewart look. Right, Michelle's home is certainly no Martha Stewart look. So I would say is, when you look at Michelle's home, she knows where everything is. And like a lot of blind people, legally blind people, she knows what she wants. What makes Michele depressed in this case is she feels that she's kind of trapped in a situation where she can't easily get out from under. Which is related to what People of Peace is saying. It says, one has to find a way to get out and heal and never get back. But you find out that sometimes we all want to do better. What Michele runs into is, how can you get through that glass ceiling that's holding you down? Because if you're trying to, for example, create these YouTube channels, which Michele did originally for this exact purpose, what you're saying for right now, to speak about mental health issues, mental health concerns, society concerns, all of a sudden, you got a group of people who look at Michele as a moocher and a leech, and this horrible person that should never even be given any kind of assistance whatsoever because she's supposed to be a slime ball, and yet that really makes a person feel pretty bad because Michele takes the time to do all it is and works hard to do a job that she's doing, even if it isn't much. So when she sees a home and all the broken pieces of flotsam and jetsam around here, like in the pile of some of the equipment in the kitchen that says, in a to be fixed later pile, it's like a giant pile of things that she so much wanted to repair, but couldn't because she ran out of funding to do it. Or in case sometimes it's her eyesight that limits her from being able to fix the gear because she can't see that well. Right, and that's stressful because Michele wants to do better, but when and it's not. I know that sounds like a cop out to some people who have it well, but if you ever been in anybody's situation like Michelle's situation, you would know it's real and it's depressing, and it's especially when you're stuck and you can't go anywhere because you have no car. No, I haven't. But this has kind of become kind of like a support group in its own right. Because I'm kind of helping out a friend as well who's suffering from her own issues. I told her straight out nicely, I said, I don't know if I can really help you that much, except maybe to listen a little bit. Because I said to her, I honestly right now, I can't do much for you, except just to help, give you an ear. And she felt better afterwards, talking to me today about her concerns. But I have to admit that when you really think about all the handicaps, all the limitations that people like me have, like, for example, the lack of transportation, in a sense, I don't have a car, I don't have the flexibility, I can't just hop in the car and go somewhere. And even if I did have a car, I don't make the kind of money to pay for insurance, title, registration, upkeep, maintenance, gasoline, any of that. So I would feel very limited. And that's, I think, that's one thing that some people who have cars kind of forget. And they told me that, they said, well, we kind of forget about the price of the insurance, title, registration, all that, because we only pay for a little bit. And what would that be? People base. What would be that system you're talking about? Which is spirituality, relationship with God helps to heal depression and loneliness. It did for me. And it did for us too. But, I think that's because until recently, most medical doctors and most medical professionals didn't really want to involve the God element. Because it's like a giant question mark of if it's real or not. But I know that Michelle and I do benefit from talking to people who well, I can speak something about the evil part of it, but Ruben says I have nothing against religion. I know you don't, because you mentioned to me about religion. So, but some people in the industry are choose to dismiss religion outright, and others, such as yourself, are willing to give it some thought and some of the therapeutic value of religion. And so I wouldn't say people of peace is necessarily wrong either, because I've seen both in the industry. But even those people that are not necessarily involved with mental health, some of them have the same feelings. For example, if you ask the average person about Christianity, you'll get either people that are all for it, and they're all excited about Christianity, and then you have others that are like, yeah, Islam's better, or Judaism is better. But I know that because my religion is kind of eclectic, it's kind of unique of my own, I never held anything against any particular religious group. As a Roman Catholic, that is my main religion, is that I see value in the religion. Right, somewhat similar to me. Basically a faith system that is a multidiscipline. Yeah. I know, but the most important thing is that the faith system is a major part of a lot of people's path to recovery. And I know that some people in the industry may find it hard to believe, but mental health also involves working with a higher power, such as Divine Mother and Father God. And there's nothing wrong with that. But in the many in the field, I'm not saying all, but many in the field have taken the view that since we can't prove God exists, how do we know God is nothing more than simply trying to find a black cat in a dark room? Which is kind of a funny apt example, because right now I'm taking care of a cat that's Sue's cat, and he's black, and he's laying behind my couch in my other room. This like stimulant. I don't really understand radical Islam at all, but I'm not saying there's necessarily anything against Islam, because you have two branches of Islam, to keep it simple. You have the more moderate Islam, which is very much like moderate Christianity. They're not out there trying to kill people and all that. There are also radical Christian groups too that do the same thing that Islam is doing, or the radical Islamists are doing. So the sad truth is, these groups are the ones that get everybody's awareness. It's not the quiet, moderate, quiet groups that talk about moderation and living a life with peace. It's those groups that are going out there running around AR-15s and saying, I must kill in the name of Allah, or I must kill in the name of Jesus. They're the ones, for example, the Christian group, we got the Branch Davidians from Waco, Texas, that was during the David Koresh was doing just that. Claiming they're a Christian group and saying is that we must kill in the name of Jesus. It's pretty extreme, but there is both radicalism on both the Christian and Muslim side, as well as there is in Judaism as well. But the main piece of this whole thing is that if you're part of a religious organization that truly believes in doing good for all, you feel better because you feel like you're doing something better for your life. But if you're involved with a radicalized group like that, you're really actually adding to your mental illness, because you begin to think that you're radicalized and you start to think horrible things about people. Okay, so people says, it's like Silver Brand says, best to find the truth in each, but don't get involved in any religion. Said, I have nothing. Alright, okay, now I hear it. Sounds back again. Yeah, oh my god, this sounds... What it is there's a loose connection in that switch. Well, let's try re-switching around to another port on that switch. Maybe that switch is just got a bad connection there. So what's what to do? We're going to switch something around, guys, on the switch here. Let's see... Wait a minute, if this thing's supposed to be in C... Alright, so now... Alright, now we're on A instead of on C. Gotta get that mixer back in here. Yep. We sure do. Alright, so you have a legitimate account, but all you post is bullshit and video making fun of others. Okay, you're talking about the Chris Chan. TNCC. Okay. So I just came back in after I checked the sound channel. And what it is we got a whole bunch of messed up cords. And I haven't had any money to buy replacements. But like you said, Ruben, and you asked about people like myself that had that forego mental health because of money. There is a lot of them out there. Let's see. Okay. What are you trying to do? I'm going to try to go back so read some because I think I missed something. You know when TNCC came in? Oh, yeah. So, Ruben, do you want to say anything before you ring off? Because I got a feeling you're going to want to go right into the kitchen, so. Okay. Okay. Alright, so Ruben, so I'm going to talk to you later on. Because it sounds like you want to leave, so, but, I'll definitely will try to get the sound fixed better for the future. And, I say we have to agree 100%. Okay. I will be holding a formal debate on March regarding who is the real Lumi and Michele. I'd like to formally invite you to participate. Yeah, well, maybe. We'll have to see. It's March. Alright, so TNCC, did you get my screenshots? Ruben asks. Screenshots of what? That's a good question. No. Well, let me ask this question since obviously, what screenshots are you talking about? Take all the screenshots. You won't. My public's a public anyway. I have nothing to hide. Come back anytime. Wait, screenshots? No, just a text email. Michele, yes, I agree with you. And the mental health care system is broken. And I would ask that for somebody who does have some experience in the behavioral department, that maybe you should help advocate for positive reform of the system. That's what we need. This country, we got to reform it. There has to be people who are able and willing to address the issue. And since you are in that field, you probably would do pretty good if you could help advocate for the reform. And even that's one of the things that a lot of people want. You know, I would much rather see you not start an argument right now on ITC or TNCC, because it wouldn't be fair to say. Because I mean, we're trying to have a legitimate discussion here, and I really would rather focus on that instead of, because I mean that's one of the things that I feel is important. I don't know. Send me, give me a date, and I'll see what I can do. He's already got the funding. They're working on a new budget and the past. And one of the things is the wall. But now, of course, Donald Trump said he also wants to focus on the mental health issue as well. So it's not just the wall. Because Donald Trump says he wants to have a discussion about the mental health treatment programs on the state and local levels. So it's not just the wall. Actually, there is some concern about the wall possibly having negative environmental impact on the ecology of the Earth, which is the reason why some were wondering if the wall design needs to consider the plants and animals that need to be able to go from place to place. But we can discuss that on Wednesday. You coward bully. Yeah. Oh, guys. If you want to continue argument, you can fine, but I would just never mind them, Ruben, because I mean I'm not even gonna get in the middle of this. This is between those two. There's some bad blood between the two, and I don't really wanna get in the middle of this. Okay. But I will say, I showed the video interview, by the way, TNCC, with me and you. She kept wondering why you had such a fixation on Dory and my relationship. Well, if we can get the equipment working in time, if I understand what TNCC wants to do, it's going to involve me getting my Google Hangouts on air fixed. And I don't know how long it's going to take for Google to get its head out of its collective ass and fix that. Okay. So, as far as mental health goes, going back to the main topic is, what should we do to fix the broken system? What can we do to fix what's broken in the mental health system? That is the question that I'd like to end with. So what can we do to fix mental health? Yeah, I know we got some money from the NRA, but I'm not sure how much. Okay, most of all of his donations were from individual donors. They weren't really from Big Pharma or the NRA. However, that money was being raised for the Republican National Committee. Republican RNC. He himself was financing his campaign out of his own pocket. So he didn't need the money for himself. He was giving all that money to the RNC for other people who wanted to run. It's extremely fascinating to me. All I need you to do is call a number. I give everything will be done on the phone. And what do you mean by that, TNCC? What do you mean by that? But I agree that there has to be better mental health programs. You send me a link, or did you send TNCC a link? Oh, through a phone call. Okay, well, then all you have to do then is TNCC is send me an email with the phone number and the date and time, and I will see what I can do. And what's the topic of this phone call going to be? You saw something about me. I know, but what is it about you that he wants to discuss? Well, I can use help now and then, people. I get depressed just like everybody else does. I mean, I have to deal with a lot of issues in my life, the same as everybody else, and I have very few people in my support group. So yeah, I can use help now and then. Well, first of all, why the hell is there 5 of us? I don't know. I mean, I've never heard of the other. I only know one other one. Okay, so we'll talk to you later, Ruben. Keep an eye on the comments, and I'll see you on Wednesday, okay? Okay, now you were saying, I'm just saying this is, where in the hell did we come up with 5 of them when I only know one other false one, and that's not me. I know. It's like, where are these people coming from? I don't know. Oh, I'll feel better, I'm sure. I mean, like I said, I'm not as depressed as I was a couple days ago. I mean, a week ago. I'm feeling a little bit less depressed. It's just, it's like middle of the week, and it's middle of the month, and it's always hardest time of the month. Alright, now, does any of you want to talk about anything else real quick? Because I'm not trying to be speed around here, but like I said, I was getting kind of tired. So you got about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to get ready to wrap it up. So, we have anything you want to cover in 10 minutes? I think the TNCC guy was looking for trouble from the minute the way he was always interviewing about Dory. It's like he's always looking for some reason Michele and Dory's relationship was so special to him. Just like Sue said, is why when she listened to the interview, why does he keep asking about your Michele and Dory's relationship so much? And I had to agree with her. I was like, why does he keep bringing that up? I don't really know why the increasing cancer rates. Environmentally, there's a lot of things going on right now. There's a lot of pollutants in the air. There's a lot of pollutants in the water, and that's causing people having problems. But then when you look at the writings in the Georgia Guidestones, it could be a way of population or depopulation of the earth. Well, that's not really fair. Well, she asked the question, and like I said, I did kind of wonder about that too. I mean, you kind of didn't finish the interview with Lumi. You kind of left Lumi half completed. You're not going to do that to anybody. The most important thing here is I looked at your channel, TNCC, and I don't understand why you chose to have my Winterville message mixed up with North Korea, which kind of made me kind of a little bit vexed, to put mildly, when it was a valid issue. I'm even surprised that you did not actually let people know where they could send a donation to. It really would have been nice if you did that. But I looked at you, it seems like some of the videos, I can't quite figure out exactly what it is you want to do. You know, let's see. You want to play the video? I don't want to play it now, because it'll screw up the sound. Oh. Okay, but I mean, the Winterville thing, and then tugging on a woman from Korea or Asian lady in the front of it, talking about the Supreme Leader and all that, and then of course I was talking about a very valid issue about funding, and then yeah, you didn't. I don't think you kept the issue where I was actually asking people how they can make a donation to our program. We could still use that help, but it seemed like I just don't understand your modus operandi here. I don't understand what your angle is. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So if you could, TNCC, if you could explain what is your objective, what are you trying to achieve? Oh. Is she still on here? I have no idea. Yes, she is. Okay. So. The Winterville segment is a joke. It is a reference to words utilitarian to your totalitarian tendencies. I don't have an angle. My objective is to document things I find interesting on your show. Okay, well, do you think you could do me a favor, since I think this would benefit me as well as you? Let people know where they can send donations to? Because, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to show you the addresses so you can write it down. Let me get to that screen here. No, guys, I'm not ended yet. I'm just going to show you the screen so you can see where you would normally send donations to. I'm going to stay on the air, obviously. So let me just go over here. So here, that's my address, by the way. That's how you can send donations to. If you ever want to help out, to help defray the operating expenses, this is where you send the donations to, and this will help to keep the programs and hopefully replace the broken cables and the hardware that seriously needs to be fully serviced. Like, for example, these RCA cinch jacks and this M68 mixer, which, you know, because of its age, they're not grabbing plugs well and they're kind of sliding out. We need to replace those broken or those messed up jacks, and it can be done by me, but I gotta order the piece, and it's kind of hard to get at the piece because the way it's positioned in the system. But I can take the broken jack out, which isn't really broken; it's just spread out. So anyway, for those of you who cannot read it, here's how you contact me. It says to send donations via PayPal. Is BICHELA3@gmail.com. That one on the top is more or less for the channel specific, if you want to know that. The one below it, Michele3@yahoo.com, is more for personal donations. So if you want to send like donations for me to buy new clothes or stuff like that, you can send it to the yahoo.com. Actually, you can send donations to either one, but let's keep it simple. The Michele3@gmail.com would be more for this channel. Please specify also in your message what the donations are for, so the money will be properly dispersed through to the proper form. If you want to go through Patreon instead, it's www.patreon.com/BICHELA. And again, that would be for the YouTube channel specifically. If you want to send equipment or hardware or whatever by U.S. mail, the address is below. It's MicheleMarieDalene, 112 Main Street, apartment number 9 in Winsted, Winsted. The state is Connecticut, and the zip code is 06098, and that is in the United States of America. So that makes it easy. You can find me there through that means. I'm going to switch back now to the desktop, and we will get this done here. So now you know how to reach me and how to find me. And no, I cannot. I do not accept donations, nor am I willing to solicit if it happens to show up in the clip. That's fine, but I am not personally against soliciting and accepting donations. Well, I'm not saying you accepting donations. I'm just saying is that since you're if I don't want to say this, Michelle could use the help. And even if it isn't anything really serious, like she said, people can send old equipment too that is working. Right. So what do you think, people of peace? What do you think based on what you're hearing from him and what you're hearing from me? What do you think? What's your opinion on this? So, by the way, TNCC, does that mean that when you reach the potential of 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of viewers per month, or sorry, per calendar year, that you're not going to go for a YouTube partner program? Because once you reach those goals, even though it does not going to pay much, you're going to be able to make some income on your channel. Or are you going to remain non-finance, non-advertiser? Because I know that the AdSense is, I got a feeling what's going to happen with that is, I got a feeling that YouTube is going to realize that they just basically just shot themselves in the foot, because they're going to be killing all advertising, and then they're going to have to find some way to fix up what they broke. And I think it's going to be breaking a lot of the system because of their stupidity. I think you're right. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. So, yeah. Okay. Alright. So at this point, for the rest of you guys, you now know that I've also said and reminded everybody that I'm looking for non-money donations as well, because we can use some replacement in parts. And like I said, it doesn't have to be new. It can be secondhand. Like I said, we need some better cables, and I need some electronic components to fix some of the things in here that are seriously in need of repair. I could do the repair work, but I still need some parts. What's wrong with YouTube right now is When all the people signed up for the YouTube Partner Program, originally it was open to anybody that was in good standing. And everybody wanted to join. Then they changed it to originally you had to have 10,000 minutes of views, lifetime views, to get on the YouTube Partner Program. And the result of that was they got so many applications that they were incapable of keeping up with the demand. The number of advertisers were seriously being cut because advertisers felt that YouTube was allowing unsavory people to be receiving monetization from advertising. So what Citizen Wojcicki tried to do was to change the rules for the YouTube Partner Program, which has set up the new guidelines that you have to have 1,000 subscribers and you have to have over 4,000 hours of view in a 1-year calendar period. That's 240,000 minutes. That will kick into effect on February 20th for me, as February 20th will be when my monetization stops. Well, that's true, but don't forget, for some people, YouTube is also become their livelihood. And that doesn't, I know that some people find that a little bit disconcerting, but the truth is that, for example, PewDiePie and Logan Paul are not exactly doing it out of the goodness in their own hearts. Hey, after all, if you can get paid advertising money, that's not the same thing as saying, "Excuse me, sir, would you please let me borrow a tenner?" No, it's not. At least you can say you're working for your money, like Donna Summer sings. Right. The expectation of making money is pure entitlement. If it's something you like to do, it's because you like it, not for money. And I do like doing this for the sake of it. But the money's nice because it kind of makes, it helps to offset the operating expenses. But yeah, right now I haven't even got my first $100. So, and it's just to know that there would have been something. Eventually, it would have gotten something out from AdSense. That was what the whole point was. But even so, I was working hard on this channel even before I was on the YouTube Partner Program. So I never got paid yet from AdSense. So I never really particularly got upset about that. When did they change the post anyway? Do you remember now? 2012. Yeah, so for that first year or so, you were actually not expected to be in the YouTube Partner Program. Right. Well, yeah, but a lot of people have turned this into a job, or have turned this into a career, and that's, try to explain that to Logan Paul, try to explain that to PewDiePie, that this is a hobby and not a job. When they make 5- and 6-figure yearly salaries from YouTube alone, I would have to agree that if I had to use this as my only source of income right now, I would be in deep trouble. But I never really particularly got too upset about it, but I can see both sides of the point. Okay, great. I will see you when you send me the invitation. Why don't you send me the invitation? You send one to Lumi. You want to type in your address, Slim? Sure. It's this. Make sure the screen's on that screen line. Okay, I'm going to give you Lumi's address. So, there we go. Okay, it's this. LUMI, in lowercase, sorry. LUMIFINISTRA@gmail.com. So send me the invitation. You can send it to Michelle too, but you can send it to me also. Alright, so it looks like pretty much right now we're going to wrap it up for tonight. And don't forget, guys, I will see everybody on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope someday soon we're going to get our mixer back from the repair shop. And then we'll be able to prevent any audio problems with the patch cables that don't make good contacts because our mixer's old. But for right now, thanks guys for watching this. Don't forget to leave comments in the comment section below, and do take a look at the 2018 playlist and take a look at the 2017 playlist as well. There's good videos in both that are produced by other people that I'm just posting on my playlist. And still giving them proper attributions for their video content because they're still technically got their copyrights to them, so it makes it simple for everybody. But for the time being, we're going to get ready to wrap this up. And anything else on? No, just one thing. What's that? Make sure to like and share, and always make sure you remember Michele and I will always be willing to talk to you when we can. Right? Okay. Let's get ready to wrap this up. You got it. So, okay, that's it. That's a wrap. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody.